Hey, Heather here. Thanks for joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on this super cute Stampin' Bella image called Winnie peeking out the window. Isn't she adorable? I love her. I will put a link down in the description box to the supplies I used and all the other stuff I used in the card kit. I would love to have you come shopping with me. Also, if you could hit the like button if you liked the video, that lets me know that you liked it and I should make some more. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and do that so that you can get all my latest updates and you'll know when I post a new video. So I have already stamped my image on Nina 80-pound solar white cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink. So let's color. So let's start out by doing her skin. For that, we're going to use E21, E00, E000. For her cheeks, I'm going to use R20 and R30. And I'm going to use E21 first. And let's go down here and do her arm first. So I'm going to do a little dab underneath of her sleeve and the down inside of her arm where it's touching the other arm. And then I'm going to do this arm right next to, well, I'm going to do the whole, all the way across here at the bottom where it's touching the windowsill. And then I'm going to go up the inside of this arm, and I'm just barely touching the paper with my pen. Okay, same for this side. We're going to go right along of her sleeve, and then down her arm. And then we're going to go down the inside, like that. And then let's go ahead and do a little bit on her neck and her collar right here too, since we got this out. Next I'm going to go with E00. I'm actually going to just fill in her skin down here on her arms, because they're pretty small. So getting that in there, I'm just going to fill these in. Here, get her hand, this arm. And then her neck here. Okay. Then I'm going to go with E21 again, and I'm going to work on her face. So let's do, I'm going to give her ear. She's got a little bit of her ear showing right here. I'm going to give that just a little dab. And then let's go, right over here where her hand touches her face. I'm going to go from there up here along her bangs. I'm going to color in this part just a little bit. And I'm going to come back down this side where her hair is touching her face, over here where her hand is. Next I'm going to go with E21, or sorry, E00. I forgot I was only using 3 colors this time. And then we're going to go right along here. We're just going to brush right on top of that last color. I'm going to flick away from it out here into my white space. And then I'm going to go with E000. We're going to fill that in. And again, I'm touching down on my last color and pulling it into my white. Then I want to add a little bit of cheek colors. Let's go with R20 first. And I'm going to do right here around her finger. Let's get over here on this side a little bit. Then I'm going to soften it with R30. And then I'm going to take E000 and go over the entire thing. Oops, and I guess I should fill the rest of her ear in too, so let's do this over here, just a little dab. Now let's work on her hair. For that we're going to use E43, E42, and E41. And I'm going to start with my E43. Let's just go right here along the bottom and work our way to the other side. And over here, give a little dab. And let's get a little bit up here at the crown. Then I'm going to grab E42. And then I'm going to take E41 to fill it in. I'm going to go back with my E43 and just add a couple of little streaks in here. So I'm using more of the tip of my pen and trying to use it like a pencil and just adding a few little strands. For her shirt, let's use Y26 and Y23. I'm going to start with my Y26, and let's give it a little bit of shadow right here where it's touching her arm, and down here where it's touching her arm. Same thing for this side. And a little dab down here in the V of her shirt. And then we're going to take Y23 and just fill that in. Quick and easy. So next let's work on the window frame, and for that we're going to use E34, E33, and E30. I'm going to start with my E34 and add some shadows in. So let's go ahead and start right here in this middle section. And then I'm going to go down with a little bit of darker here in the middle. And then same for this side. Let's do this one. And we're going to come down the inside of the frame. Come up, and then let's go ahead and do the top ones too. Just work our way all the way around, and then let's see here, let's do the middle section. And I'm going to add some dark down here at the bottom. And I think I'll bring this up just a little bit, just put a few little lines up here, just a little bit like that. And then let's do the top of the frame. So up here I'm going to go ahead and make me a little line from the corners so I can go from there, so it's got a little bit of definition. I'm going to go right along here, and then I want to bring this along the bottom of my frame. And maybe bring a little bit of color up in here. That looks pretty good. And let's work our way down this side. Again, let's add a little color, and then come down the inside of the frame. Down here till we get to our bushes. I think I'll add a little bit more color out here. And then down here there's a bunch of flowers or leaves. So I'm going to kind of just work my way in between my leaves and color that in. Like that. So you got a little bit of space because you can see the frame behind that. And then over here we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to come down over here. Maybe bring a little bit of that color out here a little bit. Just work our way down to the bushes again. And again down here you can see the frame through the wood or through the leaves a little bit. So I'm going to come in here, add a little dab of color like that. And then we're going to switch to E33. So I'm going to go ahead and start in the middle just like I did before. I'm trying to touch down on top of my last color and just add a little bit more to my white. I'm not being too careful about it. I just want to add some color in there. And same for the sides. And here's a little bit of grass or a little bit of leaves right there, so I'm going to go around that. And over here we'll add some color. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E30. I'm just going to brush over the entire area. My E30. That. And we're going to go across like this. Kind of smush all those colors together. And I'm even going to go down here and do a little bit on top of that color down there in the bushes so that it will soften it up just a little bit. Same over here. Okay, and then I actually need to do down here at the bottom too. So let's grab E34 again. And you want to pick kind of, there's some spaces in here where we can see the back or the bottom of the window seal. So we're going to get those. Like that. A little bit down here. And here you can see the corner of the window. Okay, I'm liking that. And then right in here there's kind of a bare patch, so I'm going to color that brown between my shrubbery here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit right here, a blank spot. But there's just a few little spaces in here I'm going to fill in and make it background. Okay, oh, maybe a little bit right in here. And little dabs in here a little bit. Okay, and then for the bottom, I'm going to go along the bottom of my flowers here. So I'm just going to draw me a cute little line right along my flowers, kind of dab in here in between these spaces for this shrubbery. Go right along the edge. And here's a little bit of space in here. Let's go up in there a little bit. And I got some brown on my flowers, but I'm not worried about it because they're going to be a darker, I'm going to put some green in there, so I'll be fine with that. Okay, I'm liking that. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E33. Go right along here, because all those flowers are going to cast some shadows down here onto all this cute wood. Oops, let me turn my picture a little bit here. And then I'm going to lightly go over it with my E30. Just kind of squish all my colors together and soften it just a little bit. Next, let's work on our windows, and for that I'm going to use V20, W0, W00 and my colorless blender. I'm going to start with my V20 and add a little bit of shading. So I'm going to go, let's start at this top window pane here. We're going to go around this curtain, and I'm just going to work my way down the whole ruffle of my curtain. this side. Oh, whoops, I guess we gotta do the curtain up here too. So we're gonna go right along that curtain. And then I'm gonna bring this color down along the edge of my window pane. And then same for this bottom section. I'm going to bring it right down along the edge of my window frame. And then up here, I'm going to go along the edge of this window pane. And then up here, let's do a little bit along this edge of the curtain and down the edge of her. Give a little bit of shadow over here and around where she's sitting, like that. Then I'm going to go with W0. I'm going to turn my girl a little bit. And I want to lay down on top of my V20 and I want to flick into my white. Back up here. I'm using my check mark, kind of flicking. Adding some color to the side of that window. I'm also going to bring this color in from this side over here because she's sitting in there taking up most of the space. Then I'm going to go with W00. I'm going to go ahead and fill this little section in, and then I'm just going to work my way down along my windows again, just touching down on top of my W0 that I used last time, and flicking more out into my white. This little section in, and come up here, I'm going to fill in around her. Now I'm going to take my colorless blender and I'm just going to softly go over the entire window space. I'm trying not to touch the wood so that I don't mess with that. Try not to touch your girl, but that just gives it a nice little shadow there in the corner of your windows to make it have a little bit of dimension. Now let's work on our curtains, and for that we're going to use BG11 and 10. Let's start down here in this bottom one. So I want to add some shadows, and this is BG11. So go underneath of our curtain rod, or our curtain tie here, and then I'm going to exaggerate this little wrinkle there is. Like that. And then for the curtain tie, I'm going to do a little dab on each side. And then for my curtain, I want to go up again for my curtain tie, go up this little wrinkle. I also want to add some color along the edge of my frame. And let's go up here. Go along the top of our curtain. And then I want this wrinkle right here. Actually, let's bring this wrinkle up too. But this little wrinkle, I want to bring it on this side. And I think I'll soften this edge just a little bit here. I'm going to grab BG10 and I want to fill that in. So I'm just going to go right along my curtain here. I'm going to fill this entire area inside up. And I'm using my pen kind of at an angle so I can take up more space. coat my paper a little bit here. And I think I'll come back with my BG11 and add that shadow for my wrinkle back in. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and bring it up here, like that, maybe a little bit down here. Okay, and like that side. So we're going to do the same thing for this side. We're going to start with our BG11. I'm going to brush away from the edge of my window frame. And then I want to exaggerate this little wrinkle right here, so I'm just going to go right along the edge. And I'm going to take BG10 to fill it in. And then I'm going to exaggerate my wrinkle again with my BG11. So now let's do all these big flowers down here. For that, I'm going to use R27, R05, and YR02. I'm going to start with my R27, and I'm just going to willy-nilly go around the center of each of these little flowers. There's like a little cluster of stamens there in the middle. So I'm not being careful. I'm just going to go around each one. Work my way around here. That. Then I'm going to grab R05 next, and I want to touch down on top of my last color, and I'm spreading my circle out. Let's work our way to the other side. And you could be a lot carefuler than I'm being. I'm just blobbing it on there. I'm going around in a circle making a mess. Like so. And then I'm going to finish those off with YR02. So I just want to go along and fill in the edges. And now I'm trying to be a little bit careful because I don't want to go outside the lines. And if I have some blank spaces here in the middle where the window is kind of showing through in the back, I'm just going to fill it in with this, this color. And I'm not worried if I touch the brown. Let's work our way over to this side. Like that, and then I'm going to take Y19 for the centers and just go over the middle here. And I'm not being careful about that either. If I get some on the red, you're not going to really see it, so I'm just going to blob it on here. Quick little dab of color. like that. For the leaves up here, these big ones that are kind of sticking up, I'm going to use G28 and G20. I'm going to start with G28, and I'm just going to give each center of the leaf a little dab of color. And again, I'm not really being that careful. I'm just kind of touching my pen to the paper for a quick second and kind of pulling it towards the fat end of the leaf. Okay, we're going to do the same thing over here. A few of these leaves over here are a little bit fatter, so I'm going to give them a little bit bigger swipe. Okay, and then I'm going to take my G20 and I'm going to fill it in. So I'm touching down on my top of my G28 and I'm just filling those leaf circles in. And we'll go over here and do this side. Like that. And then for the shrubs down here, I'm going to use G21 and G20. So let's do G21 first. And I'm just going to take my pen and kind of dot it up and down in my bushes. And you can use as much or as little as you want. I'm just filling some area in for my bushes here. And then I'm going to take G20 and fill in the spaces. So I'm just going to wipe over the top of this whole area. And again, I'm not worried about, this is pretty light, so I'm not worried if I'm touching other stuff. So you're not going to mess up, unless you left it sitting on top of your red or your brown, you're not going to make a big difference. I think I'll do a little bit more of my 21 down here. A little bit more green in here. And I'll swipe over it another quick time with my 20. Like that. Okay, so that leaves us with this little bird over here, and we're going to use B00 and B0 for that. And I'm just going to take my B00 and go right along the bottom of my little bird and up here towards his beak. And then I'm going to take my B0 and fill it in, because it's pretty small. And I didn't even bother coloring his beak because you can't really see it on there. So there is our beautiful Winnie peeking out the window, all colored up. Isn't she fabulous? And then here is the finished card again. So I have cut her out, and I left a little bit of white on the outside, and this image comes with the sentiment, so you can put that on there. And then I did a little bit of Stickle Stardust down here on all this shrubbery. That's why I wasn't too worried about it, painting it very carefully. And then I put a little dab in each one of the centers of the little red flowers. Isn't she cute? So I hope you had fun coloring with me today, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.